Hi everyone, this is my Teamer deck. The lands are pretty typical for a tricolor deck, except I do have Bayou and Badlands. I don't have any black spells per se, but I do have Deathrite Shaman. So Ancestral Vision, drawing 3 cards is good. Preordained, Burst Lightning, Grim Lavamancer, Lightning Bolt, Birds of Paradise, Fins. Fyndhorn Elves, Noble Hierarch, Mana League, Remembrance, Reman, Snapcaster Mage, Counterspell. Tin Street Hooligan. I probably don't even need this in here because they unbanned Black Vise in 100 card singleton half a year ago in March. They just unbanned it in actual Legacy, so I think I was a little afraid of how good Black Vise would be. So I played Tin Street Hooligan, but it's not actually necessary. I don't know why. Den Protector, Eternal Witness are amazing in Singleton, and Commander for that matter. Reclamation Sage I am going to keep in. It's just so flexible. Tin Street, as I mentioned before, is probably not necessary. Thornscape Battlemage isn't amazing. I like to play it in Singleton because it's the only format you can play it. Like, it's not good in Modern, and it's not good in I don't know, Legacy or what have you. Electrolyze, Edric Spymaster of Trest. Like, this deck is kind of control-y. You can see I've got a number of Planeswalkers, but Edric's just insane. Like, I don't know if you played him in Vintage Masters, but he just wins games. Infatuation, Control, Chase, Cryptic Command, Flametongue, Thunderbreak Regent, Edric, Wickerbough Elder. Thunderbreak Regent, I'm not sure is better than some of the green cards I'm not playing over it. Cards like Dead Bridge Goliath, the 5/5 from Return to Ravnica, or Iromori, the 5/5 Trampler, or Wolfbride Elemental, the kicker make wolves things. But I just got one and I feel like playing it. Oh, I actually had a Sarkhan Unbroken in this deck when I played it. Like, in the games you're gonna see, I think you're gonna see Sarkhan, but I had it in the deck. But I needed tickets, so I sold it and put in a Conclave Naturalist instead. So I need to go to the sideboard, but I don't know if you can see this, but I'm getting the Circle of Death, so I gotta pause or not pause, just while my computer freezes, which is cool. As I said before, Black Vise is not as good as I thought it was, so I actually had Black Vise main. You might see that in the games too, but I've since edited my deck. But pretty standard anti-control counters, anti-red deck counters. I like to have Rending Volley because it's flexible, white or blue. Blast Miner is pretty much good against 3, 4, 5 color decks. Even some 2 monocolor decks are just filled with stuff like Maze of Ith and Mishra's Factory that you want to blow up. And Cryoplasm is good for the same reason Rending Volley is. It's flexible. Anarchy is obviously insane. Great Sable Stag, flexible, just like Flash Freeze, Rending Volley, and Cryoplasm. Life Gain, Genesis Anti-Control, Mistcutter, Hydra Anti-Control. So, I will go on to the games now. Okay, here is game 1. He's playing Red Deck Wins, although you shouldn't know that yet. This game was 5 days ago, so while I still remember the result, I don't remember each individual game and how they ended, so it's kind of like I'm watching this for the first time, but it's not really. So he went first turn Strongkirk Noble. I've lost many a cube games to that start. Looks like I'll be okay because I've got a Llanowar and a Kitchen Finks and a Sakura-Tribe Elder. I should be able to fight the aggression, but they call it Red Deck Wins for a reason. It finds a way to win. So I thought I hit the forward arrow, but I guess not. Maybe I did, and Magic Online is just taking its dear time. Yes, Magic Online is just taking its dear time. So I drew a Mossfire Valley. Nothing came of that, so I just put my land to play tap so I don't have to lose life. And of course he attacks, gets his counter, and passes. Now that's a little suspicious because normally you would play a 2-drop, so it makes you think what's going on. So my only play was Sakura-Tribe Elder, so it's not like I was playing around his Incinerate, Lightning Strike. What happened here? Galvanic Blast. So that worked out great for me. That was a 0 for 1, or 1 for 0. In terms of him, he doing that made me take 2 more damage and gave him another counter for his Stormbreath Noble, so that is fine for him too. It's almost like a shock to my face. I mean, it's obviously not ideal. He goes Goblin Matron. Hold on, I have to pause it here. He went Goblin Matron, searching for Goblin Ringleader, which is a little surprising because normally when you Goblin Matron, you search for Goblin Recruiter, and then with the Recruiter, you stack a bunch of goblins with the Ringleader up top, and the Ringleader finds that. As far as I know, Goblin Recruiter is not banned in this format, so I'm not sure why he didn't just do that. I was at 17, so it's not like he needed to get the pressure right away. On my turn, I played a Kitchen Finks, which is better than Mana Warring his Matron, obviously. He'll get a tutor again. And arguably better than Mana Warring his Stormbreath Noble, because it just costs 1, he'll just play it again. So this turn, he's probably going to cast his Ringleader, which we saw him get. And he got a pretty good rip off of that, even without a Recruiter. He got Beetleback Chief, Sparksmith, and Gutter Snipe. So I went ahead and bounced his Stormbreath Noble, even though I said that wasn't impressive before, but I didn't want to cast a Sarkhan, because if I were to minus it, he could just bolt the Sarkhan and kill it. If I were to plus it, then I'm not really getting that much immediate value. I just draw a card, and my hand's pretty full anyways, and then still it could still die to like a haste guy or something, because I would block his Noble with my Finks, and then the Matron gets through, hits Sarkhan, and then 4 more damage kills it. So that's why I played the Mana War. But later, obviously, I'm going to want to play the Sarkhan. Here, I believe I got a Thragtusk. You know, with Sparksmith on the board and a Gutter Snipe, I just felt like 19 wasn't high enough of life total to make me comfortable. I mean, I know 19 is just like a fetch land away, but yeah, so he starts going to my head. Like, I was at 24, and then he goes Firebolt, Tarfire, down to 20, Goblin Grenade, down to 15, and I believe all those triggered Gutter Snipe, so instead of 15, that's 9. So at this point, I'm very happy I got the Thragtusk, because if I didn't get the Thragtusk right now, I'd be a 4 with the Gutter Snipe on the table. Here I played the Thunderbolt, the Dragon, for a similar reason to Sarkhan. Like, I want Sarkhan to be able to survive. Here I start attacking him because eventually the Gutter Snipe's going to kill me. So I knew that I also needed to be aggressive. So that's why I was attacking with my Thunderbreak Dragon. And I think I cast Keranos here. Yeah, I do. That way I could kill his Sparksmith. The Sparksmith deals himself damage too, but I just didn't want the Sparksmith on the board because that could just wipe out 2 blockers. End of turn, Sparks or something, untap, spark it again. But it doesn't matter because he ripped a Click Slither off the top and just trampled over me. FTW. Oh, did I not hit pause? Oh, I hit pause on the game, so you saw me do all that. This is awkward. Pretty good starting hand. Less good, he killed my elf. Turn 2 do nothing is not really what you want to do against that deck. Turn 2 Cackler's fine. There's more dangerous 2-drops than that. Like Stigma Lasher. Missing lands here. Really need to hit some land drops. That's why when he attacks it, I don't block. I mean, it could be a bluff because his guy can't block. So he might as well attack with it to get some value, but I couldn't risk it just because I was short on lands. And eventually the Courser is going to gain me over the course of the game at least 4 life. So didn't want to risk it. And did not get a land off the top, but I believe I played my Sakura-Tribe Elder and fetched a land, and unfortunately the top card still was not a land, and I didn't block again for the same reason. This is hard to see. I'm gonna have to resize that and put that. I'll put it here. I'll put it here. Okay, so I finally found a land on top of my library, and that was apparently worthy of a scoop. He was mana screwed, and then I had a Courser, and eventually he didn't see my hand, but he kind of knew that with the kind of deck that he's playing, with the deck that I'm playing, that I was severely advantaged here. Especially if I don't have a land drop, I just make a spear and then hit my land drop and then gain a life. Okay, so now to pause this here video once it pops up, and then pull up game 3. Or not. Okay, so game 3. He's on the play. I've got Tidebinder Mage. That's pretty good. And I'm essentially going to curve out 2, 3, 4 pretty good. I scried something to the top. Unfortunately, I skipped right past it. But I guess we'll find out next turn when I scried to the top. Ember Hauler. So it was a tropical island. Tap your Ember Hauler. He can sack. He can just trade these 2, but you know that's enough of a tempo to stop this 2-drop, and it takes him 1 mana to do that. And that's exactly what he did, and then played a Mog Flunkies. Oh no, he bolted my Tidebinder. So now I could be potentially facing a lot of beats, but if I stop one of these guys, then I stop 2 because it can't attack alone. I get back to Tidebinder, so now he can attack this turn. And he does for a lot. Now, why did I not block the... Oh, I didn't. It would have been a chump block, so I didn't want to do that. So, Tidebinder Mage tapped the Flunkies, and Witness is still around to block. But now I can block the Chieftain. Got Ruin Blaster. I'm very lucky he didn't get a 4th land here, otherwise he'd be setting me back. That's not a bad cascade. So like my ground force is pretty much better than his ground force now. So I pretty much have to be afraid of him going to the head, which is exactly what he did with the murderous red cap. He didn't even kill the Tidebinder Mage, even though the Tidebinder Mage would have freed his Mog flunkies. But I've got the Knuckleblade and pretty much a pretty big army on the ground, so he decided not to fool around with it. Okay, so I play blue Keranos, and I can still kill not anything right then because you need 3 mana, but 3 mana to deal 1 and then 5 mana to deal 2. So he has to be afraid of me killing the chieftain mid-combat. So he's got to be careful with his attacks. But on the same hand, I'm at 7, so I'm a little nervous, and I think that can go to the face. Yes, that can go to the face. So I'm almost at 5 here. So let's continue on. So just like game 1, I couldn't be that passive because eventually it's not hard to deal 5 damage. Well, you can even say it's 3 damage because he can use this Keldon Necropolis to start dealing damage. So I didn't really need that land there. But I went ahead and played it, even though it wasn't the best for me. And he tried to Searing Spear me end of turn, and I cast Snapcaster Mage and flashback Hydroblast. I am at 5 now because he did sack the Ember Hauler. So I'm attacking him. He's at low life. Essentially, he needs to draw something this turn to kill me. Yeah, because he drew a Shard Volley, puts me down to 2, and any burn spell would have killed me. I had 0 cards in hand. It's not even like he had a counter and needed to play around, but luckily he did not draw it. So that was the match against Red Deck wins. Okay, so I'm recording nothing. Okay, got the game loaded. So this is against Michelle Wong. I think she's playing Azorius, but again, generally remember what happened, but I don't remember details. Preordain. What did I do there? On top, must have liked what I saw. And then obviously one of the cards is already in my hand because I scribed it on top, and then I'm going to draw the other one next turn. Turn 2, do nothing. That's really good for me. That means she can't counter anything. If I wanted to play like a blue Keranos right now, I can just drop it. But I don't have a blue Keranos right now, so I believe I just play the Thrun. Sure, why not? Turn 3, nothing. That's really good for me because I've got quite the board presence. So if she just wants to pass and let me attack with my Thrun, I'm fine with that. There's Hallow Fountain. I think I clicked her end of turn. Yeah, because I don't click her during the draw step, so that I could fake having a counter. If she wanted to cast something like Wrath of God. I don't have it, but you gotta represent. And does she actually have a Wrath here? No, refalse. No Wrath. Very lucky. Cycle Decree of Justice. That's gonna block a Thrun, but not do anything against my flyers. I'm totally okay with that. And then just keep Mana Leak open. No, I don't do that. Oh yeah, I do. I was about to be horrified watching my own historical plays. I don't leak that because I don't need to. I could just fly over for the win. Okay, so I keep a 1-land hand here, obviously, but it's not as bad as it looks because Deathrite is a mana elf, and then I preordain into lands. So I think I start with the Deathrite, and then I preordain the following turn. Yeah, because if I actually draw a land, I can just witness. No, I can't witness the land. I need to exile it in order to get it. But it's moot because I didn't draw land. So preordain, look for some land, and I kind of got a land. I got a Dryad Arbor, which, you know, is better than nothing. So I really need her to play a fetch land so I can exile it and witness back my land, and whoopee, she does. So far, I've hit my first 3 land drops, even though my first hand only had 1. A block. I need to survive. Is that? No, that's my catacombs. I don't have red here, so I'm sure I get a red. Jace is pretty good out here. And I go ahead and brainstorm and find a land. And not only did I find a land, I found a fetch land, which makes my future brainstorms better, which means every brainstorm should, in theory, find a land again. Threaten can't be countered. I don't know if she was like bluffing having it, or she actually did have it because she tapped mana before. Actually, no, maybe that's just her setting. Like my Magic Online is set to be able to announce a spell without having the mana in the pool. But maybe hers doesn't. So tapped all my guys, and then made me bounce my Noble Hierarch. Is that what happened? No, my Stomping Ground. Which is surprising, I think, because she knew I was short on land. So it's not like that sets me back a turn so much, because I wasn't going to use a land drop anyways. So I was okay with that. Sort of Fire and Ice to try to draw more lands. Now, I put it on the Thrun because of the hexproof, because she had a Heath open and 1 more card, and could have killed like the Deathrite. Plus, I want to use the Deathrite when I want to, not be forced to send it into combat with the Sword of Fire and Ice. The Judgment, perhaps I overplayed into that. This is actually for my sake and not for you, the viewer's sake. 1, 2, 3, 4 against 1. What could I have done besides? I could have played a Batterskull, but the previous turn I played the Sword of Fire and Ice. I didn't play a Deathrite or a Thrun or a Birds of Paradise or a Dryad Arbor. I don't think I walked into the mass removal, the sweeper. I think most of the plays I made were legitimate. Good old Exalted trigger. Defeat Justice. It's a lot to kill a Great Sable Stag. I mean, it's great because she can't counter it, but once it's on the battlefield, it's not as impressive. Okay, why are there no tokens on the... Oh, there we go. So, I think I cast a Batterskull here. What I'm certainly not going to cast is the Genesis, because the Genesis is the thing to cast into open mana, because if she counters it, no big deal, I'll just start activating the ability. Genji the Fields, it's good for gaining a ton of life. I don't think it's especially good against me, because I'm like aggro control, so if you're gaining a ton of life, I can still find a way to deal you a ton of damage. I believe she counters it. She doesn't dissipate it or otherwise put it like on the bottom of my library. Okay, she just counters it and puts it. in hand. I don't get. She's done this a few times. She activates it and it doesn't attack. So I don't know if she's forgetting or she wants me to think that she doesn't have much mana and I should play one of my non-Genesis spells into her. I don't know. Treachery's pretty good. Pretty good. Of course, I have a Wickerbough Elder, but it's going to be hard to get that resolved. Give it a shot anyways. Oh, the Genesis isn't that big of a threat, actually. Like, a lot of the utility Genesis from the graveyard, not on the battlefield. Here, she made a... Magic Online screwed her because Treachery, you get to untap a bunch of lands, and she didn't untap. She just okayed through that, and obviously right there she needed it. What did that get? Oh, it got the Wickerbough Elder to resolve because of the lag, and it also killed the Jace because the Genesis wasn't around to block my Batterskull equipped Germ. Exile the Genesis, which is part of the utility, and then wrath away my board. So even though she misclicked through the Treachery, right now she's looking okay. She's got a Genji of the Fields and Urza's Factory, so you know, if we just brick the rest of the game, then it's looking good. I've got a sad little Sakura-Tribe Elder. That's all. So Genji of the Fields is going to gain a ton of life if it wanted to. I don't know why she didn't attack with it. Maybe she thought I was going to block the Sakura-Tribe Elder and then sack for land and negate the life link, but that was not what I did, as you see here. Get a little 7/7 Sakura-Tribe Elder. That does not happen very often. So at this point, I'm gaining a ton of life, and the clock is starting to be concerned here too, because it's not fast to deal 45 damage with islands. So in hostilities, she told me later she forgot I could sack the Sakura-Tribe Elder. She was expecting to blow up all my equipment, which did not happen. Now we're both gaining life left and right. Got 2 threats on the board, and even if she wraths again, I can just recast the Batterskull, so I mean she doesn't have a counter. She only has 1 card, so she can't wrath and counter. I forgot it was right there. It might have been the turn before, but she misclicked again and didn't block something with a sword on it. Looking pretty good here. Got Batterskull equipped Germ, and I've got a Pyroblast, so not too shabby. Reclamation Sage to Genji of the Fields. That's important because, like, if you, all the abilities stack. It's not lifelink. They're all triggers. So if she blocks a Germ token, that gains 10 life. So those are 2 matches that I decided to show. Free player run event every Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern. I'd love for you to join us. 100 card singletons is real fun, and thanks for watching my video.